everyone. Roger and James here, Find the DisKingdom Podcast. In this episode, we're going to be asking you, and it was kind of a little bit of an interesting story that I broke this last week. Should dogs be allowed at Walt Disney World resorts? As of Sunday the 15th, they are going to be available. You can sort of basically at 4 different resorts at Walt Disney World. So I'll give you a little bit of the details right off the bat. This is at the Art of Animation, Port Orleans Riverside, the Yacht Club, and Disney's Wilderness Resort. $50 a night for a pet cleaning rate, or $75 at the yacht. So, for me, I jumped up a skin when I saw that price. I think maybe for Americans where you're only going for 3 days, it might not quite so. I think because I'm going to Disney World for 2 weeks, that would be like, whoa, that's a lot of money. But obviously, you know, $150 for maybe a 3-day weekend. Is it cheaper than kennels? Who knows? Now, there are some rules that have been put out. Now, included in the price, you do get a mat, a bowl, a pet ID, a plastic disposable bag, some puppy pads, dog walking maps, and you also get a do not disturb dog door hanger indicating to staff that there is a pet in the room. You also get daycare and other pet services are offered nearby, but they have to pay extra for that. I do remember driving past a kennel once when we were out there, and there's also going to be exclusive pet merchandise coming in. So this is all kicked off. They did announce the official rules for it. Dogs will only be allowed in the guest rooms, a limit of 2 dogs per guest room. Guests are responsible for their care. Dogs must be well behaved and not be on the furniture in public areas. They must be supervised at all times while on resort property and should not be left unattended for more than 7 hours. Dogs should remain silent if they are left unattended. If the noise is heard, you will be called to address the noise within 30 minutes. You must display the sign outside because the cast members will not go in there while they're there. You must put your dog on the leash. You are only allowed to bring your dog into certain areas. Obviously, this applies primarily to domestic, just normal pet. Service dogs don't come under this rule. They've been allowed in there for a while. They can go into the parks. These dogs cannot go in to any of the parks. It cannot go to Disney Springs. It's literally just at the resort. You can take them on the Disney Magical Express. You can take them on the minivan. But then, as I said, and they must have up-to-date vaccination records upon request. Now, I will be honest, this was one of those stories that broke. I put it up there, and then I saw this instant feedback. So probably one of the most discussed topic I've seen in Disney for a long time, and it was primarily negative. There was a real, and I'll be honest, I was like, oh, that's nice for dog owners. You know, they can take the dog and, you know, rather than put them in a kennel, leave them in the room and go off to the parks. The feedback, and a lot of it was from people with allergies, people talking about leaving their dogs for that amount of time, the amount of mess that's going to be in the room, the noise of people after barking, and I've literally, I don't know if Disney had maybe they did a lot of requests of people saying, you know, oh, we could love to bring our dogs and all the rest of it. Well, I think they will have got a message from this that there's a lot of people that do not want this, and it is a trial, so there's important to know. But yeah, it was a bit of an odd one.
Yeah, I remember seeing the article originally posted. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then I just went on with my day. I was like, yeah, it's a thing. So for me, you know, I love dogs. I love cats. I love pets in general. It's like, cool, there'll be dogs. But I totally understand that other perspective. You know, people do have allergies to dogs. Dogs can be very noisy. You don't want to be woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're on vacation by the dog next door yapping away because it saw a squirrel outside, or because, yeah, exactly. We need some dog animation going on right now. But or even just because the dog's in an unfamiliar place, so it doesn't know the normal sound, so it's freaking out.
Yeah,
I totally understand that. I think what Disney needs to do here, they need to make sure that at these specific locations that the dogs are available, there needs to be like a section that is just reserved for the dogs, so that they're separated from everyone else and the main issues are not a problem. The other thing I have with this is they should have given more notice.
Yeah.
This should not be something that's popping up right now. Because if you do have dog allergies or whatever and you're staying at Port Orleans, you need to know if there's going to be dogs there. And most people plan Disney trips months in advance. It's not feasible to do it like, oh, I'm just going to pop down to Disney unless you live in Florida or Disneyland, although this one doesn't impact that one. I'm actually going to be at Fort Wilderness this weekend. This coming weekend, I will be there. And if I had a dog allergy, I would absolutely be really annoyed to find out that there are going to be dogs at Fort Wilderness when I did not expect there to be.
I will be honest, because for me, the Fort Wilderness one is slightly different, because to me, I view that as the campground. That is the, you've got your caravans, you've got, have they actually got rooms down there? Yeah.
We're,
are they cabins kind of thing, aren't they?
Actually, you know what? I was thinking of the Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
So no, not Fort Wilderness. I take that one back. I'm not at Fort Wilderness. I'm at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. The Lodge.
Yeah.
So I'll just talk over you on this one. The Fort Wilderness, I kind of agree on you with that one because it is the outdoorsy one.
Yeah.
But still, people should know in advance if they need to, bring their dog allergy medication, inhaler, whatever it is they need to deal with this, or, be given the chance to say, we don't have the ability to be around dogs. You need to put us up in, the sports, the all-star sports or whatever.
I mean, it's this weird thing. Personally, I feel like they need to have, maybe go right, okay, the whole ground floor or one level is dog only. Once we sell out of that we can't have any more. We've only got so many ones. If you have a dog allergy, you have to say it, and then you get put in one that a dog never goes in. They have to be, because obviously some people have dog allergies and it can be pretty bad. It can wreck their holiday. The fact that they're charging $50 a night to clean it, I mean, that's a pretty intense cleaning, but they've got all that other merchandise. So how clean can they get it? Now, this house moved into, they had a dog before. 4 months later, I can still smell the dog when I walk in the door. If I've been out and we've closed all the windows and stuff, you can still smell it. And, this is the thing of it constantly coming in. So I think those rooms need to be there. It's that thing as well. If you're bringing your dog down to the park, you're going to be out of your room the majority of the time. The dog is going to be on its own. Put it in kennels and stuff. I think the problem is now is we're getting to this turn of so many people have small dogs that they carry around with them all the time, and they're so used to having them. I have a business where I live on a seafront. If dog walkers probably make up 50% of my business. I see dogs day in, day out. I can walk out at any one time and I will see, 15 to 20 people sat there with dogs around their tables or on their things. And sometimes there is a line between what people do with their dogs and other people do not. I've had to go out and tell people to get the dogs off the table, or please don't let your dog eat off of the plates or drinking out of the mugs, or, or go out there and goes, please be controlled. Being bitten by dogs. I know I train the staff of when they go out, they have to go on the other side of the tables from the dogs because they jump up. We have dogs running in and out the serving area at least once a day. It's being part of, dogs are part of my work for dealing with people with them, and it funds it. We also have a hotel behind us, which is a guide dog run. And a lot of blind people go there and they have their dogs with them, and they have special kennels in the hotel. And it does, and I have heard from people that say, I didn't realize it was gonna. It's like, well, they've all got guide dogs. So for me, I'm probably in that zone of it's part of my daily life of dealing with this, so it's not a surprise, and I know how it all works and stuff. But if you are someone that has a dog allergy, leaves it all behind, and comes into that, there is going to be issues. It feels a little bit rushed. It feels like it needs to have been planned a little bit better. I think they need to have special rooms for it. It's a trial. They'll have feedback. They'll be learning from this.
Yeah, and I think you also raise a good point through one of your stories there, is that a lot of this relies on the dog owners acting responsibly. And we have found, not just through your experiences, but just in general, that people, especially at Disney for whatever reason, really aren't that good at being responsible. Just for anyone who's watching who's been to Walt Disney World or Walt Disneyland in the last couple of years, how many times have you almost been run over by parents and their strollers because, they're at Disney World, Disneyland, and they've got their little kid, and for whatever reason, that stroller just makes people go, I have the right of way 100% of the time. I'm not going to pay attention to anything. And that's just with kids. Dogs are a different matter entirely. They can move. They can think for themselves. They can get out of the room. Yes, I know that there are things put into place here. The tags will identify them and so on. But relying on people to be responsible in large, crowded areas never works. Yeah. Conventions, all of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of dog mess I have to pick up daily, and it's just this kind of situation of I am a dog lover. The minute we get our own property, we are buying a dog. I've grown up with dogs, so I like pets and all the rest of it. So I kind of very much in that zone of understanding why people want to do it, but I think the trouble is there's such a line of people that do not like this, that do not want it. I think Disney are going to have to separate it out. Depends if is it a good money spinner or is it going to put people off? I think as the trend of people having smaller dogs that they carry around with them all the time, and I see dogs in pushchairs and bags every day. It's that kind of situation of people. There's that line, but then they're not going to be in the parks. You're going to be out. I go to the parks for way more than 7 hours. I know you could leave your dog at home when you go to work or anything like that, but it's if they pee in the corner, I know that, you take your dog into a new place, they don't know where the bathroom is. They're going to pee on the floor by the door, or because in the middle of the night, they don't know where to go they don't know where to bark, you're going to get some people go, well, my dog does. Well, not every dog does. And this is, there is going to be stains in there. I mean, you could say the same about kids, but it's that thing of it's like, fancy go to Disney World and be the place is full of kids. It is that situation of this is going to be a trial. They're going to need to work it out. I think personally they need to designate special rooms that's it. Once we sell out, we don't not just then slide another one, because I don't think that cleaning is going to be sufficient, especially if they've got to do the chairs and the bed. If the dogs are going to be jumping up into the bed and in the and then also are the bed the cleaning going to be done separately? There's so many questions from a health point of view now that so many people are saying about their allergies and stuff, and it's serious.
Yeah, just imagine though if they introduced the ability to have cats in there and just cat peeing on the bed. That's never coming out. That room's going to smell like cat pee for months. So it could be worse, guys. Yes, but we totally understand.
You wait till horses come in; it's going to be even better.
Some disabled people or blind people do have mini horse assistants.
I have seen that on TLC. But it's definitely that kind of interesting thing. I think this is where there's like service dog. There's a whole other argument. I think this is just general. Personally, I don't have the issue with that wilderness lodge. That feels like that's a natural fit for that. If you did have a dog, and you're in a caravan or something like that, you've got a bit of an area for them to run around in. But yeah, this one's going to be interesting to watch because it was definitely a hot topic.
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting. The art of animation seems like kind of the odd one out there because you've got the Wilderness Lodge, which, as you mentioned, is it fits with that one. You're outdoors. Yacht Club in Port Orleans are a little more high end. Might have better soundproofing. Might be slightly better equipped to it. But art of animation is one of the budget ones. It's slightly. Yeah. Sometimes it's more expensive and sometimes it's less expensive than the all-star resorts, but it's in that same price range. Yeah. So an extra $50 for art animation is a pretty hefty price increase. Yeah,
but personally, I feel like leave them at home. Enjoy your holiday. It's stressful for the dogs having. Yes, they might be happy to see you when they get back, but 7 hours, you're going to be coming back and then going back out again. Your dog's going to be on. And that's a couple of days or whatever it is. I mean, luckily for us international ones, it's not really something that affects us as much. But yeah, don't really want barking dog next door, but you know I have to deal with that daily. But it's definitely. I'd love to know your thoughts.
Leave your pets at home, guys. It's better for the pets. It's better for the other guests, and it's less trouble for you. I mean, I can't imagine that you can't find a friend who can look after the dogs, or at the very least kennel them for $50 a night or less.
Yeah.
And it'd still be a good quality kennel.
Yeah.
So, this might be for people who are traveling in their Winnebago or whatever, blowing their inheritance money. That's about all I can really say.
I can't wait for the feedback for when they start allowing goldfish, snakes, guinea pigs, and rabbits.
Snakes will be interesting.
Yeah. Having nearly stood on a snake at the French Quarter, my wife we had to walk an entire way around, but that's another story. But on that note, guys, love to know your thoughts on this topic. Get in touch with us on social media, through comments, or you can also discuss it on our DisKingdom Lounge Facebook group. On that note, guys, check us out, subscribe, follow, like. And James, where can they find you?
You can find me at heroiclegacy.com, along with my cats.
Yep. And on that note, guys, thank you very much for watching. See you guys soon. Later.